afternoon, Dunkirk and Fredonia listeners, and welcome back to News at Noon. News at Noon is brought to you by Fredonia Radio Systems on WCVF 88.9 and WDVL 89.5. I am Kowalyk covering for News Director Lee Pye today, and I am here with Sara Lodespoto, Joshua Ribakove, as well as Hunter Halterman and Sports Director Matt Volz, and Alex Irwin. With this top of the hour update, we'll bring you the latest of SUNY Fredonia's campus news and events, sports, weather, and music, as well as national and international news. First up, let's go to the event bulletin for this week. Fredonia Radio Systems is hosting a murder mystery event. Our general manager, Hunter, has been found dead by the rest of the e-board, and you need to figure out who did it. Just to be clear, Hunter is not actually dead, and it is just a game. To uncover the mystery, groups of 3 must travel around campus in search of all the e-board members, playing their set activities to slowly solve the FRS mystery. The Clue-themed murder mystery event is happening this Friday, March 22nd, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. in McEwen G24. Whichever group wins is going to win prizes for solving the mystery. That's it for the information through the grapevine. Next up, we're going to bring it to Josh for our latest campus news updates.
Several musicians from around the globe will be gathering on stage together at SUNY Fredonia for the Western New York Chamber Orchestra. This year, Fredonia will be hosting the Progressive Musicians Concerto winners. The concert will be taking place at 7:30 p.m. on Thursday, March 28th in King Concert Hall. The concert itself will feature 7 soloists from various countries, including the United States, Brazil, China, and France. One such soloist, Mia Manadao, is currently a student here at Fredonia pursuing her master's degree in performance. Orchesis, a student-run dance organization here at Fredonia, is preparing for its next showcase. This year, the group has the largest cast in more than 5 years. Orchesis will be hosting their Spring 2024 showcase on April 12th and 13th at 7:30 p.m. and April 14th at 2 p.m. in the Bartlett Theater. This year, the show will feature 18 different dance pieces throughout several genres, including contemporary jazz, hip-hop, and tap. As a club, Orchesis is open for all students to join regardless of major, and they typically host workshops for different dance styles throughout the semester. They also perform 2 major shows a year, including this upcoming performance. To purchase tickets for the shows this coming April, visit the Fredonia ticket office online or in person in the Williams Center. That's it for campus news. Now let's send it back to Chloe.
Thanks, Josh. Next up, we have local news. The Vice President of Finance and Administration at SUNY Fredonia has announced that he is now leaving his position. Michael Kelly, who has been here for a year, is now moving on to become the Assistant Superintendent for the Finance and Management Services of the Williamsville School District. Collaborative Children's Solutions of Jamestown hosted a Turn the River Green event along the Chautauqua River near Brooklyn Square on Saturday in honor of St. Patrick's Day. For years, the river has been dyed green for the lucky day. The goal for the CCSJ is to provide the tools and resources necessary to assist children by offering them opportunities to reach their maximum potential, according to ccsolution716.com. The event is achieved by partnering with the current service providers, agencies, organizations, and school districts throughout Chautauqua County. There were a few events around the river, such as interactive art pieces, and children, adults, and dogs filled the area admiring the river dressed up in their green clothes. A Festivals Fredonia volunteer has been named a finalist for Remarkable Woman of the Year. Michelle Ludeman-Freed-Joy has been selected as one of 4 finalists across the Western New York for Next Star's Remarkable Woman of the Year honor. The award is in celebration of Women's History Month, and the winner of the award will receive a $1,000 charitable donation and is then entered into the Next Star Woman of the Year contest. Joy was nominated by Fredonia Administrator Judy Horowitz for her hard work and dedication to the town. Joy serves on the Chamber of Commerce and has volunteered with Festivals Fredonia for several years. She also won the Community Service Award from the Chamber of Commerce back in 2020. And finally, the Dunkirk City School District is looking for an increased budget for the 2024-2025 school year. This new budget would approximate around $59 million, up 4.6% from last year. Dunkirk Superintendent Michael Mansfeld cited several different programs that would need the increased budget. For instance, the special education budget alone requires $1 million allocated. In addition, the district will now pay for an after-school program funded by a state grant that ran out, adding $288,050 in cost. The budget will be discussed again today in board meetings. That's all for your local news update. Now let's take it to the sports guy, Matt Volz.
Thanks, Chloe. Fredonia's women's lacrosse team is back at it today, heading to Pennsylvania to take on Allegheny College. The Blue Devils enter play at 4-2, coming off a commanding 17-4 win over Keuka last Saturday. After today, they'll be on the road for a few games, returning home to face Buff State on Wednesday, April 3rd, in their annual Morgan's Message game. Morgan's Message is a nonprofit organization dedicated to bringing awareness to and erasing the stigma around mental health in athletics, created in memory of Morgan Rogers, a Duke University lacrosse player who died of suicide in 2019. Fredonia's baseball and softball teams are back from their trips down south, but still have a bit of time off before their next games. The baseball team will be in Brockport this weekend for 3 games, a standalone game at 3 p.m. on Friday and a doubleheader starting at noon on Saturday. The softball team is off until the end of the month as they don't return to the field until Tuesday, April 2nd for a doubleheader at Alfred University starting at 3 p.m. And the Sabres played the second half of a West Coast back-to-back last night in Vancouver. On Monday night in Seattle, Jeff Skinner recorded a hat-trick, and the Sabres chased Kraken goaltender Joey Decord from the net less than 6 minutes into the game on the way to a 6-2 win. Last night, however, it was clear that Buffalo was worn out from the back-to-back, hardly threatening the Canucks through the first 2 periods and falling behind 2-0. Despite 2 goals from Rasmus Dahlin, the task proved to be too much as the Canucks prevailed 3-2. The Sabres now sit 5 points out of a playoff spot with 71 points and a record of 33, 32, and 5. 12 games remain on the Sabres schedule, starting with a 9 p.m. game in Edmonton on Thursday against Connor McDavid and the Oilers. That's it for your sports update. Now let's send it to Sara with the weather.
Now here is your Northern Chautauqua weather update brought to you by Fredonia Radio Systems.
Hey y'all, get ready for a chaotic day. The strong winds from the west propel snow at us as it gets to 37 degrees. Be cautious driving today since the roads will be slippery and we will accumulate around 1 to 2 inches. I know this is probably the last thing you wanted to hear. Barely used to being back to school and suddenly there's a storm outside your window? Well, just remember we are halfway through the week and better yet, we are halfway through the day. Hold on a little longer. Speaking of the other half of the day, tonight descends to 25 with harsh snowfall continuing with an additional inch. Have no fear though, the snow stops shortly after tomorrow morning, leaving us at 33 and some light sun rays. Now, just because there might be some sun doesn't mean you shouldn't wear a jacket. The last thing you want to be doing is freezing in a skirt. Yes, this advice is coming from a weather girl that prioritizes her outfit over the chilly weather. However, I can't be called a hypocrite if I'm not caught. So, moving on to later that evening, where the clouds disperse, we can see the waxing gibbous in the upper teens. That's it for your 2-day weather. I'll be back with the rest of your weekend forecast. For now, let's take it to Chloe for our local music update.
Last Call Entertainment is presenting 4 bands this Thursday for a welcome back from spring break. Bands like Relentless Moisture, Pinch Kitten, Tiny the Dream, and Jacob King are performing at BJ's at 51 West Main Street in Fredonia on March 21st this Thursday. Doors are at 9 p.m. and music is at 10 p.m. Last Call Entertainment is also presenting at BJ's with bands like Lobotomite, Coma Ghost, and Eaglewood Creek on March 28th. Doors are at 9 p.m. and music is at 10 p.m. That's all I have in music news this week. Let's bring it to Josh for the national and international news.
This morning, a Texas appeals court began hearing arguments to continue blocking a Republican-backed law that would prevent authorities from arresting migrants that entered the United States illegally. The Fifth Circuit Court initially paused that ruling, and the U.S. Supreme Court upheld their decision yesterday, but the Fifth Circuit has since reversed its previous ruling in a 2-1 vote. This is just one such case in a series of legal battles between Republican state officials and the Biden administration regarding the state's ability to maintain its border. The law, known as SB 4, has since been blocked from taking effect. Yesterday, Mexico's government stated that it would not accept the return of any migrants to its territory from Texas under any circumstances. They're not required to accept deportation of anybody except for Mexican citizens. Sheriff Eddie Guerra of Hidalgo County stated, quote, A lot of the local police chiefs here, we don't believe it will survive a constitutional challenge. We have no training whatsoever to determine whether an individual is here in this country legally. End quote. This isn't High Noon Friday, but I do have a new word for this week. The word is cyberflasher, and it refers to people that send unsolicited sexual photos to people through the internet. Yesterday saw the first conviction in England for the cyber sex crime. Nicholas Hawkes, age 39, is to face 5.5 years in prison for having sent unsolicited photos of his genitals to an underage teenager and to an adult woman. Cyberflashing is a violation of England and Wales' Online Safety Act that went into effect on January 31st of this year. A deputy chief with the Crown Prosecution Service named Hannah van Dazelden spoke on the gravity of such a crime, stating, quote, "Just as those who commit indecent exposure in the physical world can expect to face the consequences, so too should offenders who commit their crimes online. Hiding behind a screen does not hide you from the law." End quote. Hawkes was already on the sex offender register after having been convicted last year of exposure and sexual activity with a child under 16. Yesterday's ruling saw him plead guilty after having breached the community order and the terms of the suspended sentence for his earlier offenses. On Monday, I reported on Banksy's new mural in Finsbury Park, London. In this space stands a barren cherry tree that has had all its upper limbs trimmed short. On a wall behind the tree, Banksy painted an image of a man spraying the wall with a pressure washer, spouting out green paint. Altogether, it appears as though the man in the mural is painting the leaves onto the empty tree. And there has since been a fence put around the work to protect it. However, not even a week after its creation, somebody has defaced the mural, splattering white paint across the wall on which he painted the mural. In the Council of Islington, responsible for the borough in which Banksy painted his mural, Islington Council stated, quote, "It's sad to see the piece has been defaced. When the mural first arrived in Islington, we moved quickly to put in place temporary measures to protect it and manage the crowds, such as installing fencing and having visits from the park patrol officers." End quote. They claim to be discussing future solutions with the homeowner and also write that they will be installing CCTV areas from around the area. That does it for today's national and international news. Now let's bring it back to Sara with your weekend forecast.
Remember to take out your umbrellas. Friday has a mix of snow and rain as it reaches 40 degrees. Speaking of umbrellas, a fun fact about the precipitation protectors is that it used to be nicknamed Robinson. Apparently, the nickname referred to the scene in the book Robinson Crusoe. So I hope my blue Robinson can block the wet snowfall later into Friday evening as it drops to the low 30s. Saturday holds a high cloud cover as the strong winds run through campus at 38 degrees. With it being so gloomy out, it would be the perfect day to celebrate Cuddly Kitten Day. Grab your feline and snuggle up. If you happen to have more than one, I would be delighted to cuddle with your fur baby. As you drift off to sleep holding your loved one, we dip into the mid-20s with snow showers. I know it's pretty cloudy, but don't put away your sunglasses just yet. Sunday is standing on business with a sunny 45 and light wind speeds. Finally, a day we've been waiting for. It's not going to be too warm, but I suggest finishing your homework early so you can enjoy the outdoors, especially with the fact that we have an extra hour of sunshine. Just like the daytime, the starry night will be beautiful as we descend to the low 30s. That's it for your weekend forecast. Let's take it right back to Chloe.
That'll wrap it up for today's edition of News at Noon. Campus News is written by Chloe Kowalyk and read by Joshua Ribakove. Local news for this broadcast is prepared by Chloe Kowalyk and Lee Pye. Weather is presented by Sara Lodespoto. Sports is presented by Matt Volz. Music is read by Chloe Kowalyk. National and international news is prepared by Joshua Ribakove. And finally, board operations for this broadcast are performed by Hunter Halterman. Thanks for tuning in to News at Noon. Join us every Monday and Wednesday at 12 p.m. on WCVF 88.9 and WDVL 89.5. From all of us at Fredonia Radio Systems, have a wonderful day.